Hello and welcome to Bed Talks. There is an idea that once scared me and then strangely set me free. What if there is actually no punishment? None at all. No cosmic accounting department, no heavenly inspector with a quarterly performance review. At first, that sounds unsettling, because most of us were raised on a simple formula: fear first, order later. First, don't you dare, then maybe you may. But fear rarely makes a person mature. It makes us careful, sometimes compliant, most of the time compliant, sometimes very polite on the outside and absolutely chaotic inside, but not necessarily honest. And this is where adulthood really begins. If there is no punishment, then why live consciously? Why keep your word? Why choose the harder path instead of the convenient one? And the answer is meaning, not external control, internal fire. Because when a person loses meaning, they start feeling emptiness with whatever is available. Food, endless work, shopping, scrolling, status, other people's approval, sometimes even other people's lives. Consumption instead of creation. Netflix subscription for emotions, but no script for your own life. And this is where my treadmill story comes in. The insight about mortal sins didn't came to me in a temple. It came on a treadmill in Saudi Arabia back in 2023. It was early morning. I was running, slightly dehydrated, slightly philosophical, and suddenly I saw it. And my first thought was very human. God, really? You choose here? Then I smiled. Because the truth is, God has no borders and no customs, neither political nor religious. If understanding comes, it comes where you're ready to hear it, Jim included. And the thought was like this: what if mortal sins are not a list of bad actions? What if they are a state when the inner light goes dim? When a person loses contact with themselves so deeply that they start pulling energy from the outside. Attention, power, control, food, purchases, validation, drama, others, people, emotion. Like a black hole. Not because they are bad, because there is no fuel inside. And the hardest part, emptiness is often ashamed of itself. It starts hating itself, and that's what really drains life. Because there is no punishment, there are consequences. You yell at someone you love, no lightning strike, but a crack appears in the relationship. You betray yourself, no cosmic fine, but your self-respect quietly drops. Responsibility is not fear. Responsibility is the ability to say, yes, was my choice. I see the consequences. I adjust. Without self-torture, but also without the classic adult toddler phrase, well, it just happened. It's not me, not my fault. Freedom without responsibility destroys. Responsibility without freedom suffocates. Balance, that's adulthood. And here comes another subtle layer, something we're often confused since childhood. The dangerous equation. You did something bad, therefore you are bad. That's where shame is born. Because rarely do kids hear, hey, this action wasn't great, let's fix it. More often they hear, what's wrong with you? You embarrassed us. You always mess things up. A child breaks a door handle or pokes holes in a cream tube just to see if cream can come out at other holes too. Which is, by the way, is exactly how learning brain works. Not sabotage. It is a research and development department, age 4. But instead of explanation comes labeling. Not something like, please don't damage things, but you are bad. And then something heavy settles inside, because guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am wrong. And we grow up carrying that. We enter adulthood looking functional jobs, responsibilities, meetings, gym membership, but inside many are still those slightly scared kids trying not to be shamed again. And those kids show up exactly when pressure rises, criticisms, rejections, conflicts, mistakes, moments when we think we disappointed someone. Suddenly, it is not the adult responding, it is the child negotiating survival. And this doesn't magically disappear with age. It shifts only when a person notices it. Something feels off inside me, then the work begins. Some people do it alone, some with therapists, some through spirituality, some through sport, writing, silence, reflection, some through all of the above, and a good sense of humor. Humor helps. There is no single method, but there is a universal fact. Confusing a person with their action is deeply destructive. Because when you believe, I made mistake, I am a mistake, you start collecting labels. And then comes another quiet hell, the fear of being exposed. That someone will find out you are not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not good enough. Honestly, that feels worse than any mystical hell people fear after death. Because many people are already living it daily, creating their own private hell here on earth through shame, self-rejection, and fear, while worrying about some abstract punishment later. And maybe this is the shift. We are not here to obey out of fear. We are here to learn through experience. Every situation becomes a question. What's actually happening? What do I feel? Who am I becoming through this choice? Not who's right, not who wins, but what am I bringing inside myself right now? And maybe maturity isn't perfection. Maybe it is this: staying in contact with yourself without destroying others, without abandoning yourself, without outsourcing your consciousness to fear. If there is no punishment, what remains is meaning and choice every single day.